Perfect. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that. Birds of a feather flock together. Fly die, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. Ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a Pelican. It's going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and you best show us some respect. 3-point threat, I better make it rain. If it's up, then don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always said, never hate the player, hate the game. Jumper where the dame late, punch a train. Post game, big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know this flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the ref just might call a tag. You could double, you could press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostep. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly die, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. And never, and never, and never, and never, and never, and never say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly die, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever.
You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
Was a great example of trusting each other, trusting the work that guys put in, defensively trusting each other, and then to carve out a win like this against a really good Oklahoma team it was fun to be a part of.
You challenged this team after Monday night's loss to be more physical on the glass. They responded really well tonight, especially on the offensive boards. What was key in rebounding tonight?
Like you said, just challenging our group that we can be better. We know it, and we got to dig down and carve out wins sometimes, especially with guys being out. Rebounding is a big factor for us. When we offensive rebound, it gives us extra looks. Right now, our offense needs it. We're still figuring things out as we go, but a credit to the guys in the locker room. Valanciunas, CJ was big. Zion, Larry played big minutes. Jordan Hawkins, all of our young guys, Kyra, Herb, Dyson, just big-time effort on everybody's part.
Yeah, speaking of guys like Larry and Dyson that came off the bench tonight and were really solid, what does that just say about this second line and how versatile this whole offense is in defense?
Well, those guys put in a ton of work behind the scenes in practice, coming in on off days, getting up extra work. So it's paying off. And when those opportunities present themselves, we love to see our young guys step in and contribute right away. Like I said, it was fun to watch.
CJ and Zion really put on a show tonight. It seems like every time these two teams battle, it comes down to the wire. But when you have guys like CJ and Zion that can take over, just how much fun is that as a coach to just sit back and watch?
It's a blessing to be a part of for sure. Zion was, probably getting fouled a bit, but, he continued to play through it. CJ was incredible. From the Golden State game to tonight, he really just trusted his teammates. He trusted in the offense. He was sound defensively, had 11 rebounds. Our team responded, and that's what it takes.
You mentioned Jonas Valanciunas and his impact tonight. Can you just speak a little bit more to that and just his overall presence on the court?
Yeah, he's a pro. He's a pro's pro, and I'm throwing different lineups out there. We're playing against a fast team, so sometimes that can be tough for him, and he's just handling it all with grace. And he really sparked our group in the second quarter. So giving him credit in the locker room. I mean, he played 20 minutes and had 19 and 9. That's a big time game. Without him, we don't win that game.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right. For all things Pelicans, you're now tuned into the Pelican Post Game Report. Much love to the flock. Appreciate y'all tuning in on this episode of the Pelican Post Game Report. I'm Big Q. I got DC and Lexa. We up in this thing, man. Recapping. Pels topped the Thunder 110-106. Now are 3-1. So your Pelicans, man, played really well. Came from behind. What was it? 22, 23 points, something ridiculous like that. Early on, it was like, uh-oh. But the Pelicans gutted it out and got a very tough win. So shout out to the Pels. Very impressed with this win. Very proud of my team, man. So we're going to welcome in the guys. DC, Lexa, what's up? What's popping, man? This was a good one, man. And at first it was like, oh, and then the Pelicans stuck in there. And then you start seeing them shots start to fall. They got that extra and then they took it to the end. Now, we did have a lot of other stuff that we had to deal with. We had a few things that we had to look out for, them damn pesky free throw misses. But in the end, they made it dramatic, and we were able to get the win. So shout out to both of y'all. Shout out to the flock, man. We up in this thing. Let's talk a little bit about it, fam. DC, start with you.
Yeah, man. A very entertaining game. Just when you thought it was all over, the Pels found a way to come back down 22 and was able to close out the game at the end. Feel good about the win, but I can't help but be upset about all them free throws, man. We shot 50% of free throws for the night. That's crazy. But CJ McCullough had a huge game. Rookie stepped in, did his part, even though his shot wasn't falling. You ain't going to hear no trade JV talk tonight. JV handled his business. As you heard, Willie Green giving him a shout out and saying they couldn't win the game without him. He was second leading scorer tonight. And I thought overall, man, this is what we want to see. When you got a little bit of adversity, can you overcome it? Because we're going to have to. The refs are not going to give you a fair game every night. Zion ain't going to always be able to shoot 60, 70%. Every three-point shot you put up ain't going to fall. But with all those things happening, can you still find a way to win the game? And the Pels did.
Yeah, I'm proud of them, man, tonight, man, how they play. Now, of course, I feel about them damn free throws. But in the end, despite that, they had the heart, the effort. They refused to fold. They got the dub against a very tough OKC team. That's a tough team, a tough young club. Or when they get it all together and they get the rest of the bench put together, man, they're going to be something else down the line. But for right now, the Pelicans got the win. We improved to 3-1. Lexa, welcome on in. What you thought about it today? This afternoon, rather.
Yeah, definitely a tale of two halves again. The energy wasn't there first half, which I really don't like that. I really would like them to get off to a better start as far as with their energy, to at least match the opponent team. But the second half, they've been struggling in that third quarter. So I'm glad that they fixed the third quarter. But it's almost like we're not putting the whole game together. You know what I'm saying? Like it's pros and cons with each game. But definitely those rebounds. I don't know if you all looked at the stats like with different players, but CJ had double digits in rebounds, and so did Zion. And I think Jonas was he was close to that. I don't think it was a double, but I mean, crashing the boards was huge tonight. They did a really good job of addressing that. But really, I think it's just about putting everything together. One thing I did like, they played a lot of different sets. I love the front court game. There was a lot of sets where it was Zion and Jonas, Zion and Larry Nance, and Zion and CJ, and it worked. Especially like I just really like the big man activity because you have the high and low, especially when they're doing those box sets. It works That's one thing last season against the T-Wolves when Zion went off for 43 points. That's one thing that they did in that game with Zion and Jonas. And that can be used all the time because they're big bodies. They're close to that basket. And either Zion or JV, they're going to get that ball up in the hole. Jayhawk did his thing. I really commend him, like his confidence and just the way that, he was really asserting himself, trying to impact the game. I know he's young. He doesn't have it all together, but I really enjoyed his energy and what he gave on tonight. It was golden. So kudos to him. CJ, like I said, like in the second half, everybody played better in that second half. But CJ, he was really getting locked in as far as, like coming off those screens in that 2 guard role, and he was hitting it. Not too much dribbling, but just like the handoffs and things like that. That's where he excels the most. So he had obviously he had a great game, and I don't know, I like the fact that our guys are like Zion, CJ, Jonas, they're able to play off of each other. It makes it work. It makes things like just flow a whole lot better when they're playing off of each other. So that's what I saw. Hope I
Yeah,
didn't.
yeah, it was you're right. And that's a good way to place it, Alexa. It was definitely a tale of two halves. The Pelicans really stepped up and handled their business. And listen, this is kind of a change of a pace for us to watch the Pelicans play so well in the third quarter. They actually won the third quarter here, really outplayed the Thunder in this matchup. And yeah, it was pretty good. I would say it was a team win. We seen Valanciunas step up. We seen Jordan, we call him Hawkeye. We seen what he was able to do. Dyson Daniels was out there playing some defense. He had a couple of shots. And then at some point, CJ McCollum started to cook and he just took over. We seen with Zion, really what 20 something points. We'll get into the individuals in a second. Let's crush these team statistics in the matchup. Shout out to the fam, man. Y'all hit the like button and the subscribe button. DC's going to drop off. DC is under the weather. Well, he has a sore throat or something like that. He was sipping on some tea, and we're going to give him the rest of the day, night off. He's not feeling too well. So shout out to my boy DC. 40 of 102 for the Pels, 39.2%. The Thunder, 38 of 88 for 43.2%. The Pelicans were 13 of 42 from downtown for 31% flat. OKC, not too good. 7 of 34 from downtown for 20.6%. Pelicans, 17 of 29 for less than 59% shooting from the free throw line. We got to clean that up. Look what OKC was able to do from the charity stripe. 23 of 25 for 92%. Man, if we can get our numbers up. Rebounds 58 to 49. That was very positive. Almost 60 rebounds by the Pelicans tonight. 22 of them was offensive. 22 offensive boards versus 6 boards by OKC. The Pelicans was in that thing.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
then the 43 to the 36, that advantage goes to OKC. The steals 8-6 Pelicans, 5 all, but the blocks total turnovers 11 by the Pelicans versus 15 by OKC. Points off, turnovers Pelicans 11, 23 by OKC, 12-9 on the fast break, 54-52 advantage OKC with the points in the paint. And like they said, these people led by as much as 22. The Pelicans were able to beat them down, get up by as much as 12, and ultimately close out the game. Lex, if you want to touch on some of this stuff before we get into our individuals, feel free.
One thing that screams out a whole lot is the turnovers and the rebounds. We won both of those. We didn't we only 11 turnovers and more rebounds. I mean, equals possessions, equals opportunities. And that's one thing that, I mean, you win those areas, the probability of you winning the game is very high. Free throws definitely could have did better there. Again, it's like with each game, it's kind of up and down in some areas, like we can't put it all together. But you can definitely see where, I guess, when they're doing film, they talk about okay, let's do this in this game. Let's improve in this area. And they do that, but there's still something else that needs to, get better. But there's a whole season for it. But yeah, those are the turnovers and rebounds. That's what sticks out as a team.
Yeah, and that's so very true, man. I'll tell you what, the free throws, and I harp on this because I think that's a core fundamental for a really good team that's ready to take the next step. It's like when you get games like this, Pelicans hit those free throws. This game is not as close. They don't have some of these. We don't have some of these cardiac moments. It does make the game more dramatic down the stretch. But if the free throws are hit, this stretches it out. We get this game a lot sooner than later. So, and it allowed the OKC to stay within it down the stretch, even with SGA doing what he doing on a gimpy ankle, was still able to turn 20 points and hit his foul shots too. So anyway, let's jump on into some of these individual statistics, family. Let's move it on along. And like I said, this shout out to CJ McCollum. You heard Coach Willie talk about him in the presser. 37 minutes tonight for CJ McCollum. He was 10 of 17 from the field, 5 of 8 from downtown. He was 4 of 7 from the charity stripe. He finished with 29 points, 11 boards, and 5 assists. He also had a block as well and just 1 turnover. He was plus 16 on the plus minus tonight, and he did his thing, man. If it wasn't for his contribution overall, Pelicans wouldn't have won this game, man, to be honest with you. And then, of course, we talk about Zion Williamson, who had 20 points in 33 minutes of action, 7 of 20 for 20 points down. And then he had 10 boards, 8 assists, almost a triple-double day by Zion. He had 4 turnovers in the matchup. And despite the fact, he almost had a triple-double, it just felt like it wasn't about him. It's like he put his contribution in there, but really it was, and I don't want to take nothing away from him, but it's a triple double, but it's almost like a forgettable, almost triple double, if you know what I mean, Lex, because everybody else was kind of flowing and doing their thing, man. But it's like CJ's game was more present. Valanciunas stepped up, 19 points in 21 minutes, 6 of 10 from the field. He finished with 9 boards, a steal and an assist, and a block in the matchup. 10 from Hawkins in 37 minutes. He was 4 of 19 from the field, 2 of 13 from downtown. But he had some overall stuff going on him. He had a plus 17 on the plus and minus. He finished with 6 boards, 5 assists, and 2 steals in the matchup. He was out there doing his thing. Herb, 5 points, 6 boards, despite the fact it's never about the numbers with Herb. 31 minutes of action. He was in there taking charges, in there playing defense. It was a time when he was up against Shy. What was it, Lex? He was for like stretcher drives. SGA was like 0 for 5 with Herb covering him. So it was just ridiculous how it all flowed. Larry Nance in 23 minutes had 9 points and 7 rebounds with 2 steals. He was in there handling the business as well. And then we had 8 points from Dyson Daniels in 25 minutes with 4 boards, an assist and a steal. Dyson was in there doing his thing. He was 3 of 10 from the field, 1 of 6 from downtown, 1 of 4 from the charity stripe. So as you can see, a lot of our guys, man, just didn't do that well. Even Herb, not Herb, but the 3-point shooting was kind of what it was. CJ 4 of 7. Valanciunas was 6 of 7. The center seemed like to be the best free throw shooter we have is Val, man. How he did, and of course off the bench, 20 points from Shy on a gimpy ankle, man. He got kind of nicked up late in the game. 15 from Josh Giddey, 19 from Chet Holmgren, 18 from Williams. And, of course, they had a couple of guys off the bench. Wiggins, who threw in 10-9 from Joe. Not enough. Pelicans get the win. Lex, talk to me about maybe 2 or 3 guys that you like that really you consider had an impact on the game in terms of the Pelicans.
Well, definitely. I want to give kudos to Jayhawk, man. I mean, for him to come in, to get his second start, it wasn't just the points. Obviously, as he gets more reps, those shots from behind the arc are going to start dropping. But there was other things that he was doing that doesn't show up on the stat sheet. Just his activity. He was, his energy was there. Hitting the boards, just doing whatever he could to just have a positive effect on the game. So, I mean, you see there his plus minus. I mean, that's great. So he wasn't really making a lot of mistakes, missing a lot of shots, but there's other things that you can do to affect the game. So I really just, want to point him out because that's not easy to do as a rookie. Um, definitely, definitely CJ. He did his thing. Like I said, first half, it really wasn't there for him. But for him to have a double double, I do like the fact that he hit the boards. Um, his scoring really woke up. Those handoffs, he seemed like just looking at the game, the handoffs that he was getting from Jonas and from Zion, it really that's what the team needs from him. you know and then just certain points when the ball started moving more, it actually allowed everybody to be in a rhythm. And I guess the third person, I do want to say Zion. One thing that I do want to say is that Zion, when he touches the ball, it's not necessarily him shooting, but just the fact that he touches the ball, because his gravity, it's not just with the scoring, it's off ball too. He causes such a ripple effect that it really gets everyone involved. In the second half, especially that third quarter, I think every trip down, like he was able to touch the ball, just touch it. And it allowed great things to happen. And that's something that can't go unnoticed. I think everybody, when they talk about his gravity, it's his scoring ability, but he was being sandwiched like by three people at a lot of times. But once he started with his gravity and just moved the ball, that's what really started the ball movement for me in that third quarter. And then from there, it was contagious. Um, but yeah, I think obviously he had 8 assists, so his playmaking was there. But yeah, I think a lot of times, like in the first half, one thing I noticed, Zion with stretches where he did not touch the ball, plays down the floor. And that can't happen, especially by him being the star on a team. You know what I'm saying? Shouldn't go stretches like that without touching the ball. All he has to do is just touch it. It's not about his scoring you know, or always getting the assists. Sometimes it's the hockey assist. And we've heard of that many a times. But good things do happen when he touches the ball because that gravity, those eyes are following him. And that's only going to help the team to do well. And once everybody gets a whiff of that energy and that ball is really moving, it's hard to stop the Pels. And we just need more of that.
Yeah, I noticed. Yeah, he was this guy. He almost had a triple. Zion almost had a triple double tonight. And even though I was watching the game, I was aware of him scoring a 20, but overall having almost a triple double, it didn't. His stats or his performance today didn't blow me away. You know what I'm saying? I was just more taken by the rest of the Pels. He was with them, but it was not just him present to me. And you're right on with him. They got them like he got the ball, and they just three OKC Thunder players just ran to him. It was just some place, Lexa, that I seen Zion. The dude is 270 something pounds, 6'7", and probably the best double jump in the NBA. I mean, he surprises you how fast he gets up off the floor. It's like they hack him. He gets the ball back on the second chance and just gets it back up in there. And it's just amazing the athleticism that the guy has. But tonight, even though he almost had a triple double, I was kind of blown away by the rest of the Pelicans. You talked about CJ, you talked about Val, you talked about Hawk, and Dyson Daniels. They just played well. Herb and everybody, they just played really well as a team, and we needed that type of effort because that's what was needed to win this game. An individual performance by one of our stars. We needed a team effort to get the
Yeah.
dub. That's how we was able to beat OKC. But go ahead, Lex. You was about to say something.
Yeah, I mean, his gravity, like, I just feel like we got to use his gravity so much more because it makes things easier. You know how we look at other teams and they get easy shots, they get easy opportunities, but yet sometimes it seems like the Pelicans don't. That's what that gravity brings. It makes the game a whole lot easier because it's like, why are we working so hard to get 2 points? Why are we working so hard to get 3 points? Why are we working so hard? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. We shouldn't have to work that hard because I'm looking at other teams. If you look at OKC in that first half, they were getting layup after layup. I mean, can you imagine like it being that open for Zion to get into the lane? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I mean,
I love
it's
that.
huh?
I say I would absolutely love that, the way they, how the game flows easily from other teams that's playing. I would
Yeah.
love that.
And that's the flow that the Pales need. And we saw a little bit of that, just a taste of that. That's not even the best of it. And that's what's crazy. We just had that in the second half. We get that for a whole game. And then the shooters, look, the Pales they missed 19 threes in a row before they made, I think, like their second one or something like that. Just imagine like those threes are dropping because they were getting the looks. They had, they had open looks. I mean, really, Zion probably would have had like more assists. But the thing is, once they start knocking down those shots, I mean, this Pelicans team, you can really see that trending upward on what they can really be. We saw a little bit the second half. Obviously, we want to clean up on some stuff, but you can really see in spurts and stretches that they can really do some damage in the league if they can put it all together. And there's still time to do it.
Absolutely, I agree. I think this is the Pelicans after 4 games are 3-1, fam. After I'm happy for that because we have an opportunity to build on this. We missing Bi over the last couple of games. You in this OKC team, they're not exactly Golden State, but this is a good young team that play well as a team. And the Pelicans, man, stepped their game up, went into their building and beat that team. So I'm really proud of how they handled their business tonight. I really am, man. Like Lex, you talked about cleaning things up. You're absolutely right. We definitely have to do that moving forward. So moving forward, let's take a look at who we got next. We got the Detroit Lions. Detroit
Pistons. The Pistons. It's all right.
We got the
You
Lions.
think you got football on your mind. I know Thursday night is coming.
That's right. You know me, Lex. I'm all over the damn place. I'm ready
Look,
for the Lions. Come on now, let's go.
DC was doing it. He was like, and we got the Knicks in Madison Square Garden. I was like, we're playing at home, DC.
I'm catching what he got. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, we got the Pistons coming up. That's right. The Pistons 2-3. Pistons 1-2 on the road. Pelicans 1-1 in their building. 3-1 record overall. Cade Cunningham. I think Jalen Duren is banged up. I don't know if he'll play in the matchup. They're saying it's a game time decision on that. But Cade Cunningham is the guy that had 21 points per game on 42% shooting from the field, 85.7 free throw shooter. He averages 21 flat and 7.5 assists per contest on almost 34 minutes per game. Cunningham and others. Then, of course, our top dude is showing this BI with 22.5. Big V is the top rebounder there. And 6 assists per contest from CJ McCollum. This will be in the Smoothie King Center on the 2nd. We got a couple of days to kind of rest up before we welcome in the Pistons. Pistons are currently on a 2-game losing streak. They recently lost to the Portland Trail Blazers, and they're going to be looking for something to go on in this matchup. So let's kind of cover this, Lexa. Let's go into this and talk about this matchup. I got the Pistons depth chart there: Killian Hayes, Cade Cunningham. They got Thompson, who's a young, phenomenal player. Jalen Duren, he might be out, but perhaps they'll kind of move. They got a ton of bigs, whether it's Isaiah Stewart or James Wiseman, Jaden Ivey off the bench. They said Alec Burke might not play in this game. Monty Morris is out, but let's talk about the Pistons. We know they're struggling right now. They're coming into the Smoothie King Center. We don't look past anybody, but the Pelicans should be able to get this victory. How do we do it?
It starts with energy. Starts with energy. Just coming off of a win, let's go out there and play with energy because we've been struggling with that. Let's force them to match our energy. They are young. I think they're not where OKC is. I think they're kind of like lower because they are still trying to find their identity and who they are and just learning how to win. And sometimes that takes time. Uh, they do have some nice young pieces though, some nice young talent. But anytime you have nice young talent, got to come out with energy. Got to be disciplined. You got to show your prowess against a team like this. Meaning, they should dominate this team. One thing I will say is that just like they're coming off of the front end of a back-to-back, so are the Pales. So we can just throw that excuse out the way. Come out, play with a lot of energy. You're at home. Put on a show for the fans, especially since Bally Sports is struggling on showing these games, which is really sad. But put on a show. Show your dominance. Show your experience. Because definitely with the Warriors, they showed their experience against the Pales. So it's only right for, the Pales to come out and show their experience, show their dominance, play the right way, play disciplined, move that ball. Definitely don't go long stretches without, the ball not touching Zion's hands, because that does happen a lot. And then hopefully the Pels can get out of this rut as far as with their 3-point shooting and their free throws. They got to fix that. You got to start making these threes and hitting those free throws, especially down the stretch, because it was a nail biter with those free throws down the stretch when OKC was making a run. So yeah, we definitely got to clean that up and just play discipline and play to win.
Yeah, that the free throws, man, that's becoming a major problem for the Pelicans. Over the last several games, we watched the Pelicans miss very makeable free throws, man, and it's just like it gets on my nerves because that's something that if we want to be one of those top teams, you're gonna have to make them damn free throws, man. I mean, you got to make the free throws, and Willie's gonna have to get on it. You got to do the free throw drills. You got to do something to get this together, man. 59% shooting from the free throw line tonight. It's just like this game could have, if they hit, those very hittable free throws, this game is not the cardiac arrest type game toward the back end. All the dramatics kind of get eliminated at a certain point. But I agree with you. I think the Pelicans, man, should be able to beat the Detroit Pistons. Like you said, got to get guys involved. Zion has to be, and if we can manufacture and kind of copy some of the stuff, the positive stuff anyway, that we did tonight in terms of the defense, the effort. You talked about Hawkeye, how he played with his defense all over the place. That's going to definitely play off for the Pelicans with BI missing these games. Him getting that much time getting in there and finding his shot. He missed a lot of damn shots, but he had a lot of effort plays. He was in there playing defense and doing things and circulating the ball. I like how the offense was moving, and it just kept everything lively. It kept everybody engaged, and I can appreciate that. So we could take some of the positive things that we did from tonight's matchup at home into the matchup against this Piston team coming up at home. We should have some success, and I'm counting on. I really think the Pelicans should be able to handle the Detroit Pistons in the Smoothie King Center. Man, we'll see what's going on with BI. Hopefully, we'll get BI back by the Pistons matchup. But if not, man, we'll just have to see, man, because
4-1.
Yes.
Don't speak it into existence.
Yes. Yeah, indeed. So shout out to the fam, man. Listen, man, Appreciate y'all being in the stream. Shout out to everybody, man. We appreciate you. And yeah, Action Jackson says we finally had a great third Q. Yeah, I know, man. I was looking at that. I was like, man, we got a third quarter. That's what I'm talking about. So I mean, if we can just keep this up, man, and you can see some progress here, man. Winning without having a superstar like Zion out there playing, man, it's a positive because we have them out there, getting some minutes, getting in the thick of things, and getting the rest of the young players involved. Seeing KLJ break free and get that layup, turning on the burners.
Yeah.
Now we should have, we
We
ain't.
need more of that though, man.
I know.
I still feel like, man, Kyra, he's not moving the needle. It's like, dude, like you're getting opportunities because Jose is on his way back. And it's like, you're rooting for him. You know what I'm saying? But again, this is you're competing for minutes. You're showing why you deserve to be out on the floor instead of somebody else. And I feel like he's just like all I saw was that one play. I don't think I saw anything else. I mean, he did get I think he got a couple of steals. Or deflections. But I just feel like it's not enough to move the needle to say like, hey, like we're gonna continue to play you, and then when Jose gets back, we're gonna, give him lesser minutes. But I feel like with Kyra, man, there's a lot there's a lot on his plate, and I don't know if he understands the situation. It's kind of just I don't know.
Yeah, it's speaking to the dog and the player. That's what it comes down to. It's that dog. It's the same stuff we seen from Jose Alvarado when he took Devontae Graham's job away from him. It had him packed
Yeah.
to the Spurs.
Yeah, oh wow, it's exactly like that.
Uh-huh.
Exactly like that.
So that's what it comes down to. Jose has the dog. Yeah, he has that dog in him. Kyra doesn't. And we love. He has all of the. He has it all. He really does. He might have to
Yeah.
get a little stronger there. But outside of that, that dude is the fastest guy on. Even
He doesn't use it enough. He just doesn't use it enough. It's like, dog, I don't want to see it for just one play. Where's that like at least 5 plays? Somewhere between 5 and 10. It's crazy because he has a gift, but we don't even see it. We see it that one time. I should be going BB, you know what I'm saying? Every time he does it. No, but he just doesn't show it enough. You got to show your strengths every time you're out there. Something.
Right. And ultimately, and maybe and I can't say that the fact that he knows that he's on the trade block. I can't say if because prior to him doing that, he just didn't take the onus. But now I just think that it was a bad situation set up for KLJ overall. And I've said this countless times on the show since they drafted him. It's like the redhead stepchild. He wasn't drafted by the current administration. The guy that did draft him really didn't draft him. The GM drafted him. The coach didn't want anything to do with the draft. And he just picks a guy, and then the guy doesn't fit into nothing. The next guy comes along, he gets his own point guard, which is a big guard that can play multiple positions. And so he doesn't really have a spot for him. And then Graham comes in, he's expensive. Jose steps up, takes Graham's job, pushes him out to the Spurs. KLJ's still there because he's cheap. And there are players that are injured. But as soon as Jose Alvarado comes back, you damn right. Jose Alvarado is going to move up into the and takes KLJ's minutes, and KLJ will slide off until probably the G League, unless something happens where he ultimately be called up sooner or later when we get close to the trade deadline to be put in the deal to be shipped off somewhere, perhaps. So I mean, it's unfortunate, but you're right. He has to have more of the dog. I don't know. He's 3 or 4 years into his NBA career, and I know guys like Herb has to have told him that before, because Herb plays with the same mentality. He plays.
Did he come in with Zion's class? No, he came in the year after.
So
this is his 4th season.
Yeah, he can't. And that's the crazy part about it. It's like, okay, he's from Alabama. Herb's from Alabama. These are Alabama guys. And Herb is a guy that plays with the dog. Jose plays with the dog. You see Trey plays with the dog. So all these guys have that doggy mentality. It just didn't it didn't stick with KLJ. You see flashes or pops in every now and again, but the
And
dude
they're
is so
very far few in between.
he's so talented. And look, Lex, you watch some of his G League film. I mean, he cuts loose in the G League. You see him out there scoring and running around doing all this fantastic stuff, and then you put him in the Pele. He just disappears.
In the NBA, man, you have to have some type of an ego. You got to have you have to have that mentality. Okay, I'm going to impose my will in some way, form, or fashion in this game, because the thing is, there's been a lot of guys that don't have a lot of talent. We've seen through the years that they don't have a lot of talent, but they hustle. They work their butt off. I mean, they play like, man, I do not want to be kicked out of the NBA. Look, if I had an opportunity, you know what I'm saying? look, I'm gonna work my butt off. I don't want to be kicked out of the NBA, because a lot of that's happening. And a lot of young guys, you're seeing a lot of young guys getting veteran minimal deals. And I'm telling you, there's always new talent, fresh talent coming in the league. You have to give executives, front offices a reason. Hey, why should you stay on the team? Why? And I don't want you to tell me. I want you to show me. The showing part is the biggest thing.
Yeah, you're right, Lex. I'll tell you one thing, man. And the Pelicans are watching. They're not playing with these guys, man. You've seen guys like first round draft pick guys like NAW and Jackson Hayes no longer on the team. Second round draft pick Herb Jones gets a $50+ million contract.
Yeah.
So I mean,
look at Jose,
yes.
undrafted, and then he didn't even start playing until the second half of the season.
Yes.
And he proved himself in a short amount of time. And you would have thought he was playing the whole year. He just got an opportunity and took advantage of his opportunity. And that's what it's about. When your number's called, you have to be ready. They're not going to hold your hand to walk you through this thing. You got to be ready. How bad do you want it? Play hungry. Get it.
Yeah, I agree. I think Jose is just he's fantastic. He gets the energy that he represents. The thing, he's just a feel good story, man. And the Pelicans, man, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for guys like that with that heart, that determination. And Jose Alvarado's he's such a cool dude. He got this bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, infectious energy that just permeates throughout the team. And then he comes
favorite.
Right. They love his style of play. I was watching the Pels with my father not too long ago, and he was like, he's seen Jose Alvarado cheering from the sideline, and throwing his hand up and my father said, man, I like that kid. Because it's just that energy, man, that passion, that good positive energy that he represents. So can't wait to get that kid back on the court as well, man. Pelicans really going to go to that next step. It's going to be interesting seeing them using him and Daniels and all these other guys, Jayhawk and the rest of them. It's going to be cool watching. But anyway, with that being said, fam, we're going to get ready to get out on that. Listen, man, the Pels handled the business tonight to take care of business. They knocked off the OKC Thunder, and it was a positive night. It was a positive night for us, man, here at the Pelican Postgame Report. It's always great and good when we get a dub. And and it feels good to be on the winning side. 3-1, your Pelicans are. We'll be back in a couple of days.
Soon to be 4-1.
That's right. Soon to be 4-1 against the Detroit Pistons. That's right. And later on in this year, we're gonna take care of them Lions. We're gonna make it a double-decker day. So I'm just putting that out there right now. That's what we're gonna do. All right. So anyway, with that being said, fam, we're gonna get out of here. Much love to the fam. Appreciate y'all. Shout out to the Queen Lexus. DC, shout out to my boy DC, man. He feeling under the weather, but he'll be back on the next one. And much love to all y'all, man. We're gonna holler at y'all on the next one. Go Pels.
Go Pels.
PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the